Well, here we are. It's December 7th. Actually, that happens to be my dad's birthday. If he were still with us, he'd be 94 years old. Happy birthday, Dad. Sure do miss you. Anyway, today I would like to discuss the topic of optimism versus pessimism. These are some really important things, especially if you've ever talked to somebody who's a real pessimist or somebody who's an incurable optimist. Either one of those carried to extremes can really get on your nerves. I know. But anyway, I think optimism is really important, especially as I continue to recover from the stroke and the many unpleasantries I have to go through. And I'd like to talk about this by way of a particular example. And that is, back in October of last year, you may recall that I gave a talk at Texas Christian University. And partial audio of that is on this channel. And anyway, at the end of the talk, they were really very nice to me. They treated me very well, and they gave me a little bag of gifts. That included a nice leather-bound notebook and a couple of Papermate Inkjoy pens with TCU purple ink and a couple of other things, but also an umbrella. Now, here's where the optimism versus pessimism things comes in. The pessimist says, was this some sort of cruel joke? I mean, here I am. I've had a stroke. I've only got one hand that works, and I needed to hold my cane when I walk. What the heck am I supposed to do with an umbrella? Thanks a lot. What an insult. But the optimist says, wow, that was really thoughtful of these people. I wasn't expecting them to give me anything. And here they gave me this nice group of gifts, and hey, as far as the umbrella goes, I can give it away or maybe even sell it on eBay or something. How very thoughtful of them. I really appreciate that. So, that's kind of in a nutshell, two different views of the world. And I think one of the advantages of being optimistic. Oh, just by way of background, many years ago, I used to be a computer programmer, and it sort of reinforced a natural optimism because you look at some programming problem, and you think, oh, how am I going to do this? An optimist says, oh, I'll figure out a way. I always do. And the pessimist says, oh, this is too hard. I can't do this. What a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And makes himself miserable. So anyway, that kind of taught me to remain optimistic, and I try to do it now. And one of the ways that helps me stay optimistic is to stay grateful. If you follow this channel, I've already done 2 videos on gratitude because, I really do believe gratitude is incredibly important. And also I believe that gratitude and optimism feed each other. If you see the world as having positive things and are grateful for what you've got and how things are going, you're going to seem naturally more optimistic. And the risk I see is if you don't feel that way, the tendency is to feel negative, to feel very pessimistic. There's a saying, I can't remember who said it, but the optimist believes we live in the best of all possible worlds, and the pessimist fears that this is so. I think that really sums it up pretty well. But by being grateful for the good things and not getting bogged down by the bad things and being optimistic that things are going to work out, I think really, really helps a lot, especially through the dark times when it seems nothing is working out. Things really aren't very good. I've had a few days like that this year. I got to tell you, it's been a challenge. But overall, it's like moving forward. It's encouraging, and because of that, I want to keep going. And I would like to know, has that been your experience too? Do you find that optimism and gratitude kind of are mutually supporting, and also sort of ingratitude and pessimism sort of feed on each other? Have you seen examples? I'd be really curious to know what your experiences have been about that. Do you consider yourself a natural optimist or a pessimist, and why? I would be curious. And are you basically a grateful person? I know there's a saying by King Louis XIV. He said, every time I give someone a job, I create 99 enemies and 1 ingrate. I don't know if King Louis XIV was an optimist or a pessimist, but he was certainly a cynic. So, anyway, so Try to stay optimistic and try to be grateful for the good things that you've got. I think of people who are always comparing themselves negatively to others, saying, "Oh my gosh, that guy lives in a bigger house and drives a fancier car and seems to have more money and just seems happier than me." I don't think that's a very good way to go through life, because you compare yourself to that and you're going to lose because there's always somebody who's got what seems like more. And at the same time, though, if you're going to do that, then compare yourself to people who would be envious of you, because I guarantee you there's a lot of them, no matter what your problems are. I've mentioned before in these videos that I know there's a great many people who trade places with me in a minute, despite all the challenges that I face, and I'm very grateful, especially to my wife for making my life so worth living. Anyway, thanks again for viewing, and send me an email, leave a comment, give an upvote, share with your friends. Let's get the word out. Hey, does that sound like a good idea? Okay. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.